What is up, DTube Hexagons? So today I want to talk about this topic that I want to call why Hex should fork DPOS, Steem technology, delegated proof of stake. Why I think this. And what I mean with, obviously the Hex is a smart contract, but I mean if the same source would do a fork of delegated proof of stake, the Steem technology, Steem blockchain technology, I think you can do a fork of it. That would be so good for the Hexagon community and the Hex community, I think. And I want to explain why. Because, okay, we're using technology, we're using communication, and it's pretty good. The thing, so I used Steem. I came in early 2018 and I used it for a couple of years before it became too corrupt with the leaders and so on, so I decided to stop using it. But I would have kept using it if people weren't corrupt. So why do I think the Hex should, why the same source should kind of do a fork of delegated proof of stake? Um, why do I think this? Well, I think it would be amazing for the Hexagon community and for the Hex brand if you have something where you can timestamp words and videos, just like people are doing on Steem blockchain. So it's a blogging platform technology, and this is basically what Steemians, I would say, need right now, because so we know how important it is to have websites for people to reach this. And if we would have a blockchain, so people usually call Steem the North Korea of blockchain. That's what the DTube founder called it. And I kind of agree with that. And this is exactly what Hex needs right now, I would say, because none of these websites cares about us. Cointelegraph, Bitcoinist, CCN, CoinMarketCap, everyone is gatekeeping Hex. And we need a blockchain that has been battle tested on ground, where you can timestamp hexagons. I think this is super important, and I think it would be super epic if it happened, because we would become the best delegated proof of stake blockchain. And I think I look at delegated proof of stake, the Steem technology, it's like a tank. It's like a Panzer tank. It's like a German tank or something. I think it's important. This would be more for brand awareness, I would say. And it would be amazing to have the best delegated proof of stake blockchain. It would be so epic to see because the blockchain technology Steem is using is very interesting. It would be amazing to see that in a non-corrupt way, because it's currently corrupt with Steem. It is also corrupt with Hive, which is just a Binance-owned version of Steem after they did the mafia takeover over Steem. I think the Hexagon community would benefit so much if all the great Telegram posts and everything that people are saying there, that's amazing, if it was timestamped on a Hex blockchain, like a delegated proof of stake blockchain. I actually think it would be more amazing for the brand, but hey, I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy. We know that the Hex smart contract, it's done, it's complete, you know, but we know that, like, when people are reading words, right, we know that we don't have any on ground, like, sure, we can do videos, and I think that DTube is like the best platform to have like a place to build up your own video channel with dignity. I think DTube is the way to go there with Avalon blockchain, but I think hexagons need a text-based blockchain technology so they can, like, just so they can have something on the ground on websites. So we see how all these websites, Cointelegraph, I mean, they hate us. It's very obvious. Even Decrypt, all these text-based websites, they kind of hate us, and they kind of pretend they are authority in this industry. And it's very easy for them to do that because they have a text base. they have a text-based platform, and sure, Hexagons has the Telegram group, but we would need something that you can access where you just go to a website. And if you could access it, imagine like a DPOS HEX version, and it would be so easy to every time some kind of article or some text thing on some crypto website is coming out that is misleading, it would be pretty epic then to go to the HEX, a HEX delegated proof of stake blockchain, and be able to write the truth and listing it very clearly that this is wrong. And you can have, just because it's a blockchain, you can have, of course, people's opinions down below because it's like a decentralized change, like delegated proof of stake. It would be interesting to see this in action. I think this would be amazing for Hex. Hey, I'm just one guy, right? But I think it actually would be something that that would have like major utility, you know. So it is kind of interesting, right? When you kind of consider the possibilities and so on, and like there's like a million possibilities. You can do a million different things. But I think this one would be one of the more interesting things because I don't think the general crypto community, it seems like they will never respect Hex. It seems like we thought that they would just keep this up for a couple of months, but it seems like they're in it to never like to never look at truth. It seems like they never want to like improve. Um, so I think that we need like reinforcement. I think we need massive reinforcement, and I think we need to invest in more influencers, more people with faces. Yeah, because it's like it's very important. I think we need to invest more in video. I think we need to invest more in amazing blog style writers because the blog Steem delegated proof of stake system, the delegated proof of stake system that is Steem, and that some people are using on a Hive blockchain right now, which is just a fork of Steem, so it's basically just Steem. That technology is amazing, and there is such a big market for people that loves to read text-based content. And there's a lot of people that do not want to go to a chat forum because there's too much noise. There is too much noise in a chat forum for many people. So yeah, I mean that's just my 2 cents here. I think it would be amazing because it is so annoying for me to see all the corruption that goes on Hive with it's basically a Binance controlled delegated proof of stake chain, and it's just so annoying for me to see all these lies and people kind of repeat lies every day. And the same as the Cointelegraph, they are writing so many lies on their website and they don't have any comment system. And I think if you would have a hex delegated proof of stake system, we would have something where we can play at their level. Like we would have something that's time stamped, even better than Cointelegraph, and we can have our own reporters, hexagons, writing amazing blog posts. So we would rank amazing in Google, and people would be able to build up their own kind of personal brand and talk truths basically. And so the problem with Hive and like Steem is like they don't have any good brand. The Hex brand is amazing, and I think that the Hex brand needs to expand. Like it needs to reach people, you know, and you need to use everything like real world marketing, people marketing, mouth to mouth marketing. You need to see like, and it all depends like how dedicated people are, you know. But wouldn't it be amazing if you had like amazing hexagons that were writing super detailed blog posts on a hex DPOS blockchain? That would be pretty epic, because I see some writing amazing articles on Hive or on Steem, but it's not being appreciated. Like people don't appreciate it, and people seem to dislike truth pretty intense. And I mean, in many ways, it's kind of like an attack on truth. Like when Cointelegraph is writing lies, when when CoinMarketCap censors Hex, when CoinGecko censors Hex, this is basically an attack on truth. I mean, they know what they do and they're doing it on purpose. Like they basically practicing evil by, okay, they're listing market caps of all these other cryptos, but they are like gatekeeping, and it's like, do you want to live in a world where honest things are being gatekept? And like, you probably don't want to live in that kind of world, you know. I don't see how it can be. I don't see how that would like make the world a better place if you allow like gatekeepers to kind of control the narrative. And I think the only way we can kind of come closer to level out the playing field is, one, use video. I'm using video on DTube, and they have their own DTC coin, which is a video coin with real content created video whales that work for 2 years or almost 3 years now. That platform is amazing, and they have their mainnet Avalon blockchain coming out soon, and this has massive utility, like a video coin, a video platform. This is what I'm using mainly to make my HEX vlogs with. I mean, I shared the videos over there because I believe in video, and it would just be cool if we would have a text-based online version, a delegated proof of stake blockchain, to basically make the HEX brand stronger. So you basically can defend truth much easier, because you would have all these HEX scans that would be on this platform, and they can build up their own brand. They have their own platform. Sure, right now a lot of people using Twitter and so on, but Twitter is not really that good of a platform. I mean, it's nice that you can share out some information fast, but I think we need time-stamped hexagons. We need time-stamped hex information. Uh, as people said about Steem technology, North Korea of blockchain, this is basically what I think the hex community needs right now. I mean, they need a battle-tested technology, and I mean, if you look in the upcoming years, there's still going to be a lot of people that are looking for text-based content, and you just need a lot of text-based content, and you need a lot of video-based content, and I think we need our own kind of platforms to do this on. And as I said, I mean, yeah, it comes down to dedication. Like, a lot of cool stuff only happens if people are dedicated and if they think that that's a good idea. But I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to defend truth. I think it's a good idea to defend HEX, and it would be kind of fun to outcompete these guys that hate HEX. I don't mind all these other cryptos, you know. I don't mind all these other crypto communities, but when they are hostile, and when they're kind of hateful for no reason, isn't that like a problem for truth and like the crypto community and the hex game community? Because that's going to leak out into other avenues of life eventually, probably. Because if you can't confront truth, you probably can't do it in other fields of life either, and then eventually you get, I don't think you're gonna get a good society. Like, if you can't defend truth, you know, what are we doing? You know, what are we doing? So yeah, timestamps. Wow, that is just amazing. I would love for more stuff to be timestamped. Because if you take Twitter, like, there is almost impossible to kind of search a Twitter, and your Twitter can get deleted at any time, at any moment. It can just be deleted. It can be censored. A lot of people has been removed and everything. So the only way is to have your own blockchain. You know, have your own kind of blockchain, or like experiment with it. Like, maybe it would be a failure, but I think it would be a massive success, because they're very competent people in the Hexkin community. But yeah, it would have to come from the real source, you know. But yeah, I think it's a cool idea. Like, I think it's such a cool idea, because yeah, I mean, how else are we gonna scale? Sure, we can do stuff in the real world, and we're probably gonna do it, but then people are gonna Google search, and they're gonna find these websites, and if they just keep gatekeeping it forever, like Cointelegraph and on all these websites, if they never give respect, because it's some underlying thing, like, it's like they're like militant, and if they just keep that up, and it's a problem, right? It's it's a major problem, you know. So that is what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. And yeah, I just like the DPOS technology in terms of like the timestamps. It is super useful because you can search things. It's very useful that you can go back and search and look at old information, because you can't do it with Twitter. Twitter Twitter search engine sucks, and if an account gets removed, you can't even look at the old data. It's like it has never existed. And isn't that kind of annoying when just data gets when data just disappears, and it was like it never existed. What's cool about Steem is you can go and look at the old data at any user at any moment. It's super super useful to have those things time stamped, and I think the hexagons needs a lot of information to be time stamped as well, because we can then in the future go and look at who was right, and we can see, oh hey look, here's a timestamp, and we can actually see that this was valid, this was honest, this was very truthful. And then we can go and look at what other people were doing, and we can see, well, they weren't that truthful at that kind of same time, you know. And it's kind of cool how you can build up this amazing track record if you're being, for example, a vlogger, if you're talking a lot of truths, and if you have this long track record, eventually it becomes pretty cool, you know, because we want people with like amazing track records, because if you follow people that have like amazing track records, probably more amazing stuff and more great things are probably going to happen in the world. Uh, do you like seeing people, these Bitcoin guys, they're always saying that we're going to some fantasy number, and there's no accountability there? Do you like these websites like Cointelegraph, that they have some reporters and then those reporters go and do something else? And people are jumping around a lot, and it's quite annoying. You see corrupt people running a lot of things, and then they kind of resign, and then they go and do some other nonsense at some other place. And it's a lot of bullshit, I think, that needs to be called out, because if you can't call out the bullshit, like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, like, people need to learn. I learned a ton from 2018 and 2019 looking at this whole industry, and kind of what I saw was there's a lot of things, there's a lot of stupid things here that doesn't work. Many things, as I've been talking about in the past, many things in theory can work amazing in crypto, but there is not enough passion, there is not enough dedicated people, there's not enough focused people. So the problem, it's in many ways, is like a people problem, that people are not dedicated, people are not consistent, people are not truthful to themselves. People maybe follow orders, and then usually they get very very bad data. Like, if they follow orders and if they don't think for themselves, usually they get so bad data, and many times the data is so bad that it becomes blind leading the blind, and you can't really rely on the data. So we're living in this information age, and the battle is with photos, with memes, with videos, with content. And if we can have all of this time stamped, even better. Okay, sure, we can ride on Steem technology, we can ride on Hive technology, but there's so many corrupt people already associated with those systems. So why not just start fresh? Okay, why not fork it and have amazing whales from the start? Because with these old systems, a lot of things are being censored, because there's a lot of better people from 2016 that I don't know, these hateful people for some reason. And it's like, hey man, in theory you can use Forkit and we can become the best DPOS system. And the HEX smart contract that lives on Ethereum, it would have an amazing backup. It would have like a tank that's like backing it up. Because if you consider it, if it's going to be like if HEX smart contract is going to be like $1 trillion network, doesn't it need a backup, like more forks, more blockchains, more experimentation? I think the key here is more experimentation. I'm just dropping out an idea there that I think if the HEX brand, if it came from the same source and they made a fork of delegated proof of stake, it would be pretty epic. And that's just an idea that I'm dropping out there. Probably a lot of people do not agree with my views on it, that text is good or timestamps is good. Maybe they look at it that as a liability. Maybe they look at people doing vlogs as a liability. Who knows? Like, people have different opinions, and that's the thing. It's good that people have different opinions. It's good that people have different viewpoints, because if everyone was the same, that wouldn't be that interesting, right? So life is an ongoing creation, and this is something that I do not think Bitcoiners understand so much. They almost believe that reality is like this static thing that doesn't like always flow and change. So when I talk with a lot of Bitcoiners in forums, they still do believe it's like 2013 or something like that. And they still do believe that they are the top dog. But if you look at the last 5 years, Ethereum has crushed Bitcoin in terms of price appreciation and performance, and building up networks and building up friends and building up allies, and getting a whole DeFi market. So stuff is always changing behind the scenes. Nothing ever stays stagnant. If you look at a lot of coins, the Steem DPOS coin used to be top 5 crypto 2016. Now it's sub 100, and it's mainly because people have been so ignorant, and people are not innovating, they're not improving, they're not experimenting, they're not trying new things. And I think if the hexicans want to become the most amazing thing crypto has ever seen, and maybe even the whole finance world has ever seen, they have to keep trying new things. Maybe a lot of these stuff would fail, okay? But I think it's very important to try new things, to see what works, what doesn't work, what's a good idea, what's a bad idea. I learned so much from failures in crypto 2018, 2019, and I became way wiser. Like, I think I know way more, or I actually do know way more stuff now than back in the days. And the big thing I know now is now how like corrupt people are, or how like non-dedicated people are, or like if people just half-ass a lot of stuff, nothing really happens. So I'm trying to find like super motivated people and super passionate people. And it's cool how HEX came along here, because I think that people like, as a lot of people talked about, HEX has made a lot of stuff fun again. And I'm very thankful for that, for the crypto, that HEX has made crypto super fun again. And I think we should keep up the fun. I think we should keep surprising the crypto community. And if we do more forks and experiments and being playful at the same time that we can be serious, I think we have a winning formula. And I think we should keep up a winning formula of always experimenting, always innovating, always trying, always seeing what works, always seeing what doesn't work, and so on. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think HEX should have a delegated proof of stake blockchain as well. It would be so cool, man. I think. Yeah, have an awesome day, D2.